Cool.
Perfect. It's live. So hi everyone and welcome on today's webinar with the team at Homelike. Very happy to have you here with me today, Anne and Luis from the UK and the Irish teams. I don't know, guys, if you can hear me already. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Audrey. It is breaking up a little bit for me. I'm not sure if the other participants also have this.
Perfect. I see someone in the chat told me that they could listen to me. So perfect. So yeah, really nice to have you today for this webinar. So we've been working together with the Homelike team for some months now to have this connection live between Homelike and BookingSync. So just a small recap on what is BookingSync. So we are a PMS property management system as well as a channel manager. So we offer direct connections to channels like Homelike, our clients, so they can rent out their properties. That's really great to have this live with you guys, because we're going to talk about the midterm trends during the last years that we saw increasing a lot, especially during the COVID crisis. But it's not only during this COVID crisis, and that's what you are going to highlight, that it's a really trendy market and a really demanded market. So I suggest us to start, if you want, Luis, to take over the presentation. So I'm just gonna follow your order for changing the slide.
Fantastic, thank you, Audrey, and welcome everyone. Just a very quick introduction. So I'm Louis Mann, and I'm one of the key account managers here at Homelike for the UK and Ireland, and joined by the fantastic Anant Wahad, who's also working in the UK and Ireland as a senior key account manager. So the pair of us are going to be guiding you through what Homelike's about and what we've been up to and why that might potentially be of interest to you. So welcome. And I think Anant is going to kick us off. So over to Anant.
Great, thanks, Louis. Hi everyone, Anant here, Senior Key Account Manager for managing our property partner relationships within UK and Ireland. So to kick things off, we're starting with the Homelike Mission statement. Homelike's mission is to be the first choice for monthly stays, where people can rent their ideal home through a tech-enabled, simple, and trustworthy platform that handles the entire customer journey. What does this mean from a property supplier and landlord's perspective? Homelike is focused, sorry, the previous slide, Audrey. Homelike is focused on the midterm length of stay market. How do we define midterm? Our default minimum length of stay is 1 month, and our average length of bookings range between 2.5 and 3 months, depending on the seasonality and demand during the year. We also receive longer bookings of 6 months and even a year with the option to extend. Homelike is a niche player, as we have a platform that supports clients to make a booking for longer than a month completely online. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Anat. So yeah, the way people live and work has changed, something which has been heightened obviously by the pandemic. However, booking apartments remains a painful, laborious and time-consuming and also agency-driven experience. The current markets and platforms lack a solution and the technology to overcome these common problems, namely painful offline experience with agencies, a lack of trust, poor customer service, a low inventory quality and scams, no simple online or instant booking methods, and price intransparency, which basically means there's a lack of comparison. So tenants and guests, they want a simple, trustworthy and convenient digital solution to book their temporary home anywhere they go. On the other hand, landlords and accommodation providers want quality tenants, high property occupancy rate at the highest yield and lean processes. Next slide, please.
Is it the right one?
Yes, thank you. We combine exceptional service and technology to make every step of the journey an enjoyable one. We choose to work with high quality apartments. Our property suppliers offer everything an individual or business traveler could need. We have a checklist of 10 minimum home-like standards to be met to be able to be listed on the Homelike platform, such as apartments that are fully furnished, providing high-speed internet and workspace, a washing machine or on-site laundry facilities, a final end-of-stay clean, and all-inclusive pricing, including utility bills, and ability of property suppliers to be able to provide proper invoicing to our clients if need be. Next slide, please.
So what is our long-term goal and vision? Well, simply put, we want to be the leader in a massive and ever-growing market. The size of the addressable global mid-stay market is incredibly large, estimated to be worth $231 billion back in 2019. And there are 4 identifiable mega trends that Homelike seeks to capitalize on. So the first one is the rise in the work anywhere culture. So millions of people are semi-permanently relocating, seeking a more dynamic living experience with the rise of flexible and remote work. The second trend is location independence with no or less commute, which makes for smaller destinations to become more attractive. And the third trend is that typically apartments outperform hotels. So people will travel less, but longer. Entire apartments are ideal with larger size, more privacy, equipped kitchen, working space, and so on. And then last trend is just accelerated digitization. So digitization in the real estate world is happening in months instead of years. So a quick adoption of online and instant booking solutions. Next slide, please.
Our tech-enabled experience drives exceptional value for both the guests and the property operators. From guests' perspective, Homelike provides the largest choice of properties with flexible cancellation and termination policies, instant booking option, invoice handling, being able to sign contracts or leases electronically where applicable, and monthly recurring payment option. From the landlord's perspective, Homelike supports with guest profiling, assisting with property listing, various options for automated availability management, a host of property management and channel management integrations with a growing list, all bookings, invoices, and credit notes stored neatly and downloadable via the Homelike dashboard, price statistics and recommendations from your dedicated account manager. Homelike brings all this together for the guest and the property operators via a seamless and convenient digital platform. Next slide, please.
So as a tech company, it comes as no surprise that we love automation and are constantly looking to make the booking process for guests as smooth and as seamless as possible. The journey starts with a search for the city and then the perfect mid-stay home where a guest can scroll through the wide variety of accommodation available to them. And our technology enables and allows guests to reserve online, either by instant book or request mode. And they have support all along the process, and we can help them out with any questions that they may need. Also, their bookings and also signing the landlord or accommodation provider's terms and conditions can also be carried out and managed through their online profile on Homelike as well. Thank you.
Going to the next slide, sorry. Just one. Yep.
Slide 9. Yeah. Great. We welcome a broad range of property suppliers to work with us and offer a wide variety of options to our customers, from apart hotel chains to serviced apartment operators to Airbnb and property management companies, and also co-living providers. Next slide, please.
Since our founding in 2015, we've not sat still, and currently Homelike features 90,000 properties globally. From our roots in Germany, we've expanded into neighbouring Austria, Switzerland, and then we launched in the UK and Ireland, Spain, France, Benelux, and then last year in 2021, we entered the US market with our New York properties going live in October. And as you can see, we've exciting plans to expand further across the US and also into Lisbon, Portugal, and Milan and Rome, Italy by the end of 2022. And in total, we've hosted guests from 100 countries and have had over 3 million nights booked since our founding. Next slide, please.
Yeah.
Sharing some data about instant booking mode with you here. So instant booking mode means the guest is able to book your apartment without any assistance from the Homelike booking managers or the property team with an instant and quick turnaround time. Instant method of booking is growing, but mainly at attractive prices. So what we see in the graph on the x-axis, we have the quarterly data from year 2020 to Q1 this year. The colored bars represent different price ranges. Green is prices 2,000 GBP per month and below, orange 2,000 to 3,000, blue 3,000 to 4,000, and purple 4,000 per month and above. We can see that the prices that tend to be booked most on instant booking mode are in the 3,000 GBP per month and below range. Also, the overall trend of instant bookings share has been growing from around 8% in Q1 2020 to 38% in Q1 this year. Our prediction is that this trend will continue with ever-growing digitization. Next slide, please.
So let's look at some data regarding mid-stay bookings at Homelike since 2019. So the top line shows the LOS, or length of stay. So despite a peak at the end of 2019 and early 2020, the average duration of bookings has remained between 60 and 70 days. Okay, but then interestingly, when we look at the average booking window, which are the bars below, and that's the period of time between a guest making a booking reservation and checking in, you can see obviously the impact of the pandemic in 2020, where guests were seeking more urgent accommodation. And then afterwards, you'll see this rising during 2021, where the average booking window has fallen to 30 days. So simply put, guests are booking their stays typically with us about 1 month on average before check-in. Next slide, please.
Homelike began its operations in the UK and Ireland over 3 years ago. Initially, the focus was solely on London, which used to account for almost 100% of the bookings. Fast forward to last year, this has changed significantly. London still accounts for a majority of bookings, around 60%. On the graph, we have time periods from Q1 2021 to Q1 this year on the x-axis. The different bar colors represent the cities outside of London, where we have seen significant growth. These include Edinburgh, Manchester, Cambridge, Liverpool, Glasgow, Oxford, and Bristol. They have seen a significant increase in the share of bookings outside London, and the brown colored bar represents cities other than listed and London as well, which have also witnessed quite a lot of growth. So in case you have any properties in any of these cities that aren't already listed with Homelike, kindly reach out to us and have them displayed on our platform. Next slide, please.
Are you wondering where the majority of mid-stay guests come from? Well, for the UK, you'll see that over half are actually domestic, so coming from within the UK. And it's interesting to see that just under 40% hail from the US, France, and Germany, then followed by Spain, India, and Australia. And if we then look at the situation in Ireland, over 30%, the largest nationality of guests also are domestic, coming from within Ireland itself. And then France, the US, the UK, and Germany make up almost half of the remaining guests. But for both the UK and Ireland, the reasons for domestic guests seeking mid-stay accommodation obviously includes business travel, but also for study, people awaiting the purchase of a property to complete, or sometimes where insurance companies look to rehouse where there's been flooding or fire or something like that. So a multitude of different reasons. Next slide, please.
This chart presents a snapshot of the reasons for travel. As Louis also mentioned, we see a mix of project-related, relocation, study, temporary housing, and leisure travel. Project and relocation represented more than 50% in Q1 this year and are almost close to the levels we saw back in Q3 of 2020. Overall, corporate travel is back and raring, along with a significant increase of digital nomads. Next slide, please.
There we go. So let's look at London. So as mentioned earlier, London remains the most popular city for guests in the UK and Ireland. And obviously there's no limit to the price that you set for your midterm rental property on Homelike. Unsurprisingly, London is home to some of the most expensive rentals, not just in the UK, but across Europe. And this graph shows two interesting sets of data that I wanted to share with you. So the bars, what do they show? They show the number of views on the Homelike website for London properties according to different monthly rental prices. You'll see it ranges from people searching for extremely cheap properties at £400 a month, all the way through to £100,000 per month plus. You can quickly see that although the bulk of searches tend to be from the cheaper end up to £4,000 per month, the most popular searches are for properties between £1,600 and £2,000 per month. And that line, that squiggly line there, you'll see that shows the available number of properties on Homelike at each of these price points. So the bulk of properties are between £2,800 and £6,000 per month. So what does this tell us? It tells us a number of things. It could be potentially there's a slight mismatch between what people are expecting to pay in London and what is available to rent. Perhaps many international guests underestimate how expensive and how heated the capital's rental market is, but clearly we are sort of short of supply, if you like, for that cheaper end that a lot of people are actually looking for. Next slide, please.
For Dublin, we see the highest search volumes for properties between 2,000 to 2,400 euros per month and between 2,800 and 3,200 euros per month. Dublin is a very competitive market with a huge demand and a limited supply. The demand outstrips supply significantly, and we are always looking for more properties in Dublin. So if any of our potential new suppliers have properties in Dublin, and especially if they are struggling with occupancy levels, please do reach out to us. Next slide, please.
So if you are an accommodation provider watching this video or listening in, and you want to add Homelike to your existing mix of booking platforms and capitalize on the growing mid-stay market, remember that Homelike is a free to list service. We simply deduct our service fee from the first month's rent. It's easy to get set up, and Anant and myself will guide you through that process to get you up and running. It's worth flagging that once your listings go live on Homelike, there are some key actions you can take to boost your rankings on the platform and increase the number of eyeballs from potential guests. Remember that we are investing huge sums of money to attract potential guests to look at your listings and book via the platform. And your Homelike listings are a shop window to a global audience of potential guests. So taking some of these actions will be hugely beneficial. So what are they, and what can you do to drive the ranking algorithm? So first one is to activate instant book mode. It naturally gives you a higher ranking. You'll have a better conversion rate. The booking goes through without any delays, waiting time. So overall it's just much more efficient. And obviously instant booking works well when your availability is always up to date, and especially when you're integrated via a channel manager such as BookingSync. But if you're not using a channel manager, you may also use iCals within your Homelike listings to help keep your booking calendar up to date. And on the other hand, if instant booking isn't for you, you may want to stay on request mode. And if this is the case, always try and approve booking requests within 30 minutes. That helps your ranking. But there are drawbacks with having to manually review and reply to each request, because obviously there's no guarantee that the guest will complete the booking. That time it's taking you to actually go and reply means they might have found an alternative in the meantime, and also guests and they can request multiple properties. Okay, and also bear in mind the last factor is declining requests on a regular basis over time can also start to lower your listings rankings. Next slide, please.
The next factor that influences the ranking and booking conversion is the cancellation policy. There are 4 standardized options to choose from within the property's Homelike dashboard under the contractual documents. The reason we have standardized policies is because we have seen through our own data analysis that standardized policies result in positive user behavior on the website and the guest is more likely to book. Hence, we request you to choose one of the options that is the closest reflection of your existing policy. We personally recommend 48 hours as our guests and users continue to ask for flexibility, and this policy also contributes to a higher ranking of your properties. Next lever is updating your property facilities and amenities information, including property titles and descriptions. Also paying attention to the photos, especially the first photo. Listing on the Homelike platform is free and the photos are your shop window. Better photos are likely to result in more bookings for your property. Now, thank you for listening. Handing over to Sandra and Audrey for a short demo of Homelike and the integration.
Thank you so much, Shannon and Luis, for this nice presentation. If you want, Sandra, I'm going to quickly show where to find Homelike when you are on your BookingSync account. So let me get back to the homepage screen. So here we are on BookingSync account. So if you click on the app section, you will find here the button Visit the App Center, and this is where you will be able to see the Homelike application. So just click on it. You can then click Install the app, and by doing so, you will be redirected to the Homelike portal, where you need to either create your account or connect to your account if you have one already. I'm going to switch to English. Once you have your Homelike account created, actually by just going from the app to your Homelike account, you will be asked to authorize the sending of your data from BookingSync to your Homelike account. I'm going to go quickly on the article that we published on our user manual. I'm going to send the link also in the chat so everyone can have it.
Just briefly want to mention over here that when you are to create an account on Homelike, if you can go back to the previous page, Audrey, to the dashboard, exactly. At the top over there, you see tenant and landlord. Of course, it's important that you select landlord over there. It might seem obvious, but we often have to switch accounts from tenants to landlord accounts. So just make sure that you select landlord over there.
Exactly. So you have the screenshot actually in the article of the manual. So you select landlord, then you click continue with email. If you have an account already, you will be asked to authorize the sending of your data from Homelike to from BookingSync to Homelike, sorry. And if it's your first connection on Homelike, you will be asked to verify your email address. This step is actually required for the import of your properties, as well as your prices and availabilities to be launched from BookingSync to Homelike once again. And as we wrote here, so the synchronization of your listing will be done automatically and can take up to 2 hours maximum. once your listing are imported, they will be verified by the Homelike team before getting published within 72 hours. So Quentin, during the French webinar, was actually mentioning that it's a bit less than that usually, but
Exactly.
Even better if it's quicker. And we have here a small list of specificity to be working with Homelike. So as you understood now, so Homelike being a midterm platform, the bookings will be at least 28 days and can go up to 2 years. You can actually set up requirements in your Homelike account if you want shorter or longer stays. And one important note on the BookingSync side, Homelike will be actually fetching your midterm prices. So it's important that on your BookingSync account, you activate this midterm prices feature. I'm going to show you where it is. So you click rentals, you click on the property of your choice, and then you click rates. And here at the bottom of the rates page, you have the midterm pricing feature, which is here. So make sure to activate this feature and make sure to set up your prices, because that will be the only prices that Homelike is going to fetch, which is legit and normal since it's adapted to the business model of the midterm bookings. If you have any doubts or any question on how to set up your midterm prices on BookingSync, feel free to reach out to our support team. Going back to the user manual. Okay. So if you want maybe to take over, Sander, these are some specificities of Homelike.
Yeah, exactly. So the most important thing actually is that these midterm pricing options are set up, because like Adri said, that's the only price that we take from your BookingSync account. So that is one important thing to note, as well as that only the published apartments on your BookingSync account will be transferred to Homelike, and a lot of data actually was already mapped between BookingSync and Homelike. So the accounts are already filled out for like 90%. And for those remaining 10%, our teams will add this information during the verification phase. And if they have any more questions, they will reach out to you over the email address that you have provided. Because of course, we want to make sure that all the information on our platform is accurate, so you can receive a lot of bookings.
Exactly. So yeah, you discussed the bookings process. Regarding the deposit, so Homelike is not collecting the deposit, but you can take it either from the method you have set up on your BookingSync account. So either via the BookingSync payment link, via Sweetly, our partner, or on site. And regarding the payment, so Homelike is going to collect the first month payment. And then it will be up to you to collect it. So the guests are going to pay you directly the next month, the next rent, directly to you. You can collect them either via the BookingSync payment link or via wire transfer or check. That's really up to you. And last but not least, regarding the city tax, so Homelike is going to display the amount of the city tax, but is not going to collect it. So it's up to you to collect it, same as with the deposit, either via the BookingSync payment link or on site if you prefer. I think that's all. Sander, if you have anything to add regarding the integration, feel free.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's pretty complete. Thanks for that, Adri. Are there any questions from the audience, maybe on the integration between Homelike and BookingSync?
Sure. So if you want, guys, I'm gonna stop the recording. And if you have any questions, you can either ask them in the chat or open the microphone if you want.